Welcome to the favorites, all part of the Action Network family, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm Brandon Kravitz, joined by a couple of my jive turkeys on this Thanksgiving preview super episode. Kendra and Stuckey providing the picks and analysis that will make you a better in the NFL. We've got a lot to get to today. We're going to plant our flag. We're going to nominate our two Kings and a Queen parlay, Kendra's pickle prop, Evan's primer, all in one episode. Let's start with the weird, the bizarre, the random. It's Stuckey's question of the week.
I honestly, it's not Thursday, so I didn't bring a question. And I'm trying to talk as little
Oh
as
no,
possible. Yeah,
this is not good.
I've been up for like 3 days. I have like four more podcasts to do today for college and NFL.
You can ask anything about Thanksgiving. It's a
So
Thanksgiving
yeah,
spectacular.
let's see. Um, what is your favorite and then also what is the most overrated? You can go overrated or underrated or both Thanksgiving dish. Kendra, do you got any takes?
Ooh, overrated. I'm gonna go with mashed potatoes just because I feel like most people don't know how to actually make mashed potatoes and they make dry ass mashed potatoes. It's Thanksgiving. Put the extra butter, put the extra milk in there. Don't do this to me. That's why. Underrated, I'm gonna say green bean casserole. And I'm a cranberry sauce truther. It's the best thing on the plate. It's gotta be the canned version. I don't want the fresh bull crap. It's Thanksgiving. Give me the I wear my stretchy pants on purpose. I also have a bone to pick with New Englanders because they don't do macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving, and I think that that is a sin. I think that they are all going to hell, and I hate that about living up in the Northeast.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more about cranberry sauce. This is not an item to overthink. You just go 99 cents, grab it off of the shelf, and let
I
it
want the
ride.
ridges.
Yeah, exactly. I want it shaking when it comes out of the can. Like, let's not get crazy. But macaroni and cheese is the most underrated. It has to be done properly. That's the thing. You eat mac and cheese all year long. This is not unique, but Thanksgiving mac and cheese specifically, I have a rule that if you can't cut your mac and cheese into a cube, then it was not cooked properly on Thanksgiving.
It's
So
got to have
that,
that sound. You
yeah,
know
it's
what
got
sound I'm
yeah,
talking about? Yeah.
that
Yeah,
sound
we do.
any other day of the year is disgusting, but on Thanksgiving, you say damn right. Give me that
Whap.
squish. So, and then that would be underrated. Overrated, I think it's green bean casserole. The fact that we build green bean
No.
casserole into an industry standard, we could do so much better.
You don't like the
This is the
crunchy
best
onion
eating.
bits?
It's the best eating day of the year. There are other green vegetables. Why don't we have broccoli or a Brussels sprout with some bacon on it? Why the casserole? So that's my answer. What about you,
We
Stuckey?
my wife will spend like two full days cooking. And I mean she's the cook of her entire family, so she brings all, but I'm talking like we will have 50 trays, like the big metal trays, and then just put them out for everyone, and then the leftovers are the best part. But she also makes me an extra duck. I like having a duck besides a turkey. So I think duck is like if you want to go with an alternative meat, or like when Madden used to say the turducken, but I love a duck on turkey. I actually think cranberry sauce is overrated, but
No.
uh, I'm gonna say yeah. You mentioned mashed potatoes. If you go to a restaurant, you're like, wow, why are the mashed potatoes at a restaurant so much better? When you think you're done putting enough butter in, double it, and then double it again. That's the trick to good restaurant mashed potatoes. Um, so I'll say, but I like green bean casserole. There's my wife will make that. She makes a ton, like a bunch of different casseroles, like mac and cheese, green bean casserole, like a broccoli and cheddar casserole with like breadcrumbs on top. Does a Brussels sprout casserole with
See, now
bacon
we're
and
talking.
I'm
um.
starving right now, you guys.
So yeah, I guess the most. Oh, a funny story is my mother-in-law makes made the one year she made this oyster casserole, and
That
I've
doesn't
had
sound
oyster
good.
casserole before, and it's good. It's decent when it's done right. But this was like the first year that like I had met her like within a year of that Thanksgiving. So she brought it to me, and I was just trying to get like brownie points with her. So I was like, I was like hyping how good it was, but I didn't really like it. Um, so I ended up like tossing it somehow, and then was like, oh, it's so good. So now she like makes extra every year for me, and then will bring me a plate of it when I'm over there, and then she'll give me this huge Tupperware thing of extra to go, and I don't like it. And I've been living this lie for like 8 years, so I had to get it off my chest.
I hope if somebody sends her this podcast link.
I hope she listens because how else is she cranking out the coin during the NFL season? Kendra's starving. I am starving for some football picks. Let's plant our flag for week 13. Stucky, we'll start with you.
I have no bets yet so far. I haven't placed any bets. It's still pretty early in the week, waiting on some key numbers, but I guess I'll plant my flag. The Indianapolis Colts, my Daniel Jones. -4.5, my pumpkin. I just think it's a good spot to buy low on the Colts. There's a couple things working in the Colts' favor here. One, CJ Stroud's coming back. Historically, there's a lot of data that suggests when quarterbacks come back after an extended period of missing multiple games due to a concussion, that there is a dip in performance. So I do think that CJ Stroud might be a bit less effective than he usually is. Additionally, I do think this Colts defense is trending up now that Sauce Gardner's a couple games. Charvarius Ward is now back. They argue about the best corner group in the NFL. You can maybe run on them a bit. Texans can't really run the ball. And now you're getting the Colts after three straight non-covers back at home, right? And they were at Pittsburgh, overseas, at Kansas City. So 3 games away from home outdoors. So now you're getting them at home, where I think that offense operates at peak efficiency. The Texans' defense is a problem, and it's going to be a problem. And they're elite at defending play action, which is what you want to be when you're defending the Colts' offense. But I do think that the Colts' offense can do enough at home to get this done. I think this is a good buy low, sell high spot of the Texans with Stroud coming off of a concussion. And then additionally the red zone goal line off difference between these offenses, because the Texans don't know how to score near the end zone, and the Colts have Jonathan Taylor or can sneak it with Daniel Jones. And then they have the coach who's much more aggressive on fourth downs, makes much more, positive EV decisions when it comes to like going for it with Steichen at home. I think this is a good spot to get the Colts after that loss. A game they should have won. And I hope Steichen had the opportunity to send the Chiefs home, for the season and eliminate them for the playoffs. I mean, not mathematically, but they would have been in a tough spot. It was 4th and 5 around the 45. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they punted up 3. What did you think was going to happen there? You gave it to Mahomes. He drove the field. You're lucky that they didn't score a touchdown. But all year, the Colts have been super aggressive, and they didn't there on the road against Mahomes, and they punted and it cost them. So I hope Steichen learned his lesson. He's usually good in that aspect. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts here at home against the Texans.
I could not agree with you more. The Colts at home, 34 points per game, number one in the NFL, 4-1 against the spread on their home turf. This is one of my favorite bets of the week. There are fours out there to be had as well. Kendra, what about you? Where are you planting your flag?
I am going to go with the Thanksgiving theme. I know that we're probably not going to have a ton of Thanksgiving bets, so I'm going to go with the under in the Chiefs Cowboys game. We got an extra point in line movement this morning. It went from 51.5 to 52.5. I'm going to go with the 52.5. Seems to be pretty consistent across the board. I just think that the Cowboys defense, with the additions that they made at the trade deadline, has gotten better. The Chiefs have a good defense. Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco are both questionable. Even if they play, I think that that's probably going to be a little bit of a hindrance to their offense. And I just don't see the Cowboys, as good of a season as Dak's been having, putting up a ton of points against the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't scored a ton of points consistently this season. I like the under at 52.5. If I'm not mistaken, it is the highest total this week. Like the under in this game, especially because I do think that the Cowboys defense has gotten significantly better.
An under for the most watched game potentially of
I'm
the entire
disgusting!
NFL season. While families are gathering, you're over here and folks are sweating out their turkey
F them
juice.
Kids.
You're faking the under. That's the most joyless under in,
Have you
in
ever
the
met
entire
me?
season. I don't disagree with you. I'm just stating the fact.
I'm raining on the people's parade per usual.
That is joyless. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals +7, also on Thanksgiving. I'm super sketched out by the fact that the Ravens were outgained by the Jets last week. Lamar still is not Lamar. So while power rating numbers reflect that when this team is healthy, they're a great team, I think we have to start accounting for the fact that Lamar is less than his usual self. He just popped up on the injury report again with a toe injury. That's his third different injury in the last 3 weeks. I don't know if the Ravens are just playing games with the injury report, but the Lamar that we're seeing on the field would indicate that he's not the same guy. 1.6 yards per carry, 2.5 over his last 2 games. It just changes the dynamics of this Ravens offense. Joe Burrow back for Cincinnati. I usually like fading returning players, but I've been waiting for this one. Thought I was going to get it last week. They still got the cover against New England. I'll take the Bengals on Thanksgiving +7. Stucky, any pushback on my plant the flag or Kendra's joyless, heartless under?
Yeah, the problem with, the Cowboys defense is improved with Quinton Williams and there are other additions, but especially against the run. And you've seen that over the past 2 weeks. Even if you're playing the Raiders and Eagles who struggle to run the ball anyway, their defense is going to be better. They're getting more pressure too. My concern is on the back end. They play a lot of zone. That works against the Eagles, doesn't necessarily work against Mahomes. So Mahomes could have a big day. They're going to have to get pressure. There are injuries. There are offensive line injuries for both teams. Like Trey Smith's out for the Chiefs. They're all pro guard. Uh, that's worth noting. I think Guyton's going to be out for the Cowboys, their left tackle. I believe everyone else is going to play, but like Pickens and Turpin were on the injury report yesterday. I assume they'll be fine, as in addition to Worthy and Rice, but that's definitely worth noting. I do think that the Cowboys can put up points on anyone at home, but yeah, maybe it's a touch high. I don't hate it, but definitely no joy on Thanksgiving watching that game. Yeah, I don't even know how many people are going to end up watching it. The Bengals Ravens game. Uh, I just think it's a pure stay away. Like there's number one, the Ravens might be able to just line up and hand it off to Henry and Mitchell all game and put up 35 on the Bengals defense. Um, last week the Bengals got the cover, but the Patriots lost all their offensive line and they barely got there. Um, and then there's no T. Higgins, which is big. Like Chase and Higgins together is fireworks, and you can't just focus on Chase. A little different story this week without Higgins, and Chase has lit up the Ravens in the past. And then historically, like when these quarterbacks come back after extended rest, especially Burrow, there is a lot of rust. So is he 100% healthy? This seems like that coming back very quick. I assume there's probably going to be some rust early, and we've seen this with Burrow consistently in like week 1 of the regular season when he misses time in the preseason. And then yeah, Lamar's not fully healthy yet. Now dealing with the toe thing, so the red zone offense is not the same, so they can't finish drives. So yeah, that's just a tough game with uncertainty surrounding both quarterbacks. So I don't have a strong feel there either way, to be
We
honest.
still have our 2 Kings and a Queen parlay coming up on this Thanksgiving super episode, which means more picks, more analysis. But right now, a word from the Queen of the Pod chatting about our royal friends at DraftKings.
The Favorites podcast is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, and in partnership with DraftKings, our listeners get a great offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins, plus 3 months of NBA League Pass. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. To get started, use promo code FAVORITES when signing up with DraftKings. That's code FAVORITES when signing up with DraftKings for 3 months of NBA League Pass and $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
Evan, no betting week can start without the primer, and you've got the feast over at actionnetwork.com. What do we need to know before we nominate our plays for week 13? In fact, before we even get to that, a more important question, Evan. Overrated, underrated Thanksgiving side dish?
Most overrated dish is definitely the mashed potatoes. I tried to compare them to like the Bills. Like I feel like they come to the table every year, and I just continue to throw them back. So
yes, Evan.
That is my comparison.
Is it fair to call mashed potatoes over? Are people overrating mashed potatoes? I agree with all of the analysis on this podcast so far.
But I think it's more or less like you got the spread, you walk up to the table. What are you choosing? And that's the one I'm not choosing the most, and it's probably one of the more popular ones. So a public side that I'm walking to the table and just saying no to.
Although public sides have done quite well, we'll detail that in a second. Where do you guys land on? Should we be eating stuffing throughout the course of the year?
Yes.
We save it for Thanksgiving. It's so good, and the knock against it is, hey, if it was actually that good, we'd be eating it year round, like pretty much everything else that's on the plate. But
one of my girlfriends eats a box for dinner once a week.
Okay,
Literally
so it's happening out there.
Once a week. There's always one in her pantry. Shout out my friend Nicole. She literally smashes Thanksgiving food year round, and I love her for it. Her sodium levels have to be off the charts, but good for her.
Evan, how many times a year do you have stuffing?
Stuffing? Oh God, no. That's also kind of overrated unless you do it really well. Because in the end, it's just kind of sliced up bread with vegetables, but it can be done very well. So it could be good. It just depends.
So I was combing through the primer, and this one really stood out to me. The Lions and the Cowboys haven't gone a combined 2-0 ATS on Thanksgiving since 2001. They haven't both gone 2-0 straight up and against the spread on Thanksgiving since 1994. So I could have been waking up on Thanksgiving morning for the last 31 years, just rolling out of bed, slamming a parlay together. Cowboys, Lions, those are the Thanksgiving teams. I'll have them both to win. I'd be 0-31. If there was ever a case against parlays, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite note. That honestly, like, and I think I found that like a year or two ago, and obviously it's worked out recently. But ridiculous that the two teams that we continue to force down everyone's throats have never been able to figure it out both on the same year, crushing parlays for over 3 decades.
That is an insane statistic. I never would have guessed, like ever in a million years. That's a great get.
Yeah.
Also, the Lions never win, so it really helped a lot of those years when the Cowboys showed up. So that's fair.
Do you guys go on your cousin walks? Are we pro cousin walk in this house?
Oh yeah, you got to get the
got a cousin walk. I'm in New York City this year, so I'm gonna go to Chinatown for Thanksgiving, and I could have had like a Thanksgiving dinner situation, but I think I'm gonna go to Hot Pot, and I'm gonna go on a cousin walk with no cousins.
Evan, what else did you pluck out that you feel the people need to know? Saw some overtime stuff in there. The public sides. It's such a heavy trends day in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing, I think, more than anything, is the fact that the public really does well on Thanksgiving historically. Favorites with 60% of tickets, 24-10 against the spread. The thing that becomes interesting, though, is this year, and it's been talked about in a lot of different areas, but 60% of tickets this year is 42 and 73 against the spread for us, 36.5%. So take it for what you will. That's the data. But this year been terrible. Historically, Thanksgiving favorites just tend to roll. Since 2004, 40-20 against the spread. And the one that's crazy is obviously just the Chiefs in this scenario, but road favorites 25-1 straight up since 04, 20-6 against the number. Pretty good there. The other thing on Thanksgiving, I'll give you two
Pretty
more
good.
here. It's pretty good, not bad.
That would be the
The
Chiefs,
other-
by the way. The
That
Chiefs
would
are
just
the
be
only
the
one that
Chiefs.
fit that category.
Correct. And then you've got the Packers. So sitting as underdogs, they were 3, now down to 2.5. Matt LaFleur, 20-18 straight up as an underdog, as a head coach. Only coach that many games above 500. So he's really good in that role. I mean, there's a bunch of other things here. Cincinnati. So if you want to take the Bengals, you'll like the fact that Burrow, as an underdog of 3 points or more, 17-3 against the spread, which will be a fun one. That line just not budging enough to get down to that number, especially with the news. And we'll talk about luck sides for a second because we've got other games this weekend. Both A-grade luck sides from week 13 through the Super Bowl, not counting the last week of the regular season, 68%. They're like in Washington, and obviously this is Nick Giffen, Washington 6.5. Giants in 7.5. Crazy thing there, honestly, about 4,000 betting sides since 2018. Giants, the Washington side ranks 11th all time in luck score, while the Giants is 17. So two real big luck scores there, which intriguing for the weekend.
And back to the favorites on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Favorites with 60+% of the tickets, 24-10 ATS. The problem is, Evan, that applies to no one. So we can't even use that.
Well,
this
public
week.
sides, 36-20. So I mean that covers everything you
Right.
want. And that right now, the only two that are really even seeing some action would be the Cowboys. We got 69% of tickets on them right now. KC at 31% is kind of intriguing. See where that goes over the weekend. The other one would be your Bengals at 64%. So a few things kind of pointing at Cincinnati.
It's still early though. A lot of the public hasn't bet yet.
It's Tuesday.
A lot of people are going to wake up on Thursday and then place their
Correct.
bets. I would say with the road favorites and the favorites, and then the Lions and
Crazy.
Cowboys, it might be a detriment to be in a way, to be at home this week. Like
That's fair.
with all the distractions of Thanksgiving, and then when you're on the road, it's like this is a business trip and there's no distractions. And I don't know, maybe that plays a small part in it because it has been happening for a very long time. But yeah, that's amazing stuff on the Lions and Cowboys.
The other thing is Black Friday. There's a real.
Does that
real
count? Are
great
we
game
counting
on
that as a
Friday well.
Thanksgiving game?
It's not in the data, but it's definitely it's in the primer because it's on a Friday. You're gonna throw me an NFL game at 3 p.m. on a Friday. I'm gonna give you some information on it. That's just how it works.
So what is it? What do you have specifically for Eagles Bears, other than the fact that those are the two luckiest teams, two of the luckiest teams in the NFL? So hard to get an edge there as far as the luck rankings go.
Just a great game overall. The note you'll know is at home in Philly, Hurts is 30-4 straight up as a favorite. The craziest thing about that 30-4 straight up number, he has actually profited a better $718 on a $100 bet. 21% ROI. You'd say to yourself, like $700 on a $100 bet's nothing, but as a home favorite, it's really incredible to even be that high. We've had 233 quarterbacks since 03 have made a start as a home favorite. Just 5 have profited $500 or more. So sitting at 718, pretty wild. It's Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, Peyton Manning, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. Not a terrible list.
Fantastic stuff. Thanks so much, Evan. Stuckey, have you gotten, or I know you haven't placed a bet yet, but in terms of before we move off of Thanksgiving altogether, the other games, the early ones, Chiefs, Cowboys, Lions, Packers, is there a side that you find yourself tilting towards for either one of those games?
At 3.5, which you can get at DraftKings, I would lean Cowboys, but afraid of their zone, how much zone they play on the back end against Mahomes. It's a bit concerning. But would lean that way. Like I think that line should probably be 3, which is where I think it closes at. And although the Chiefs took a ton of money at game day last week, like ton, but ended up being wrong. And then I like that. I'm very upset I missed the Packers at +3. I think right now the Packers are the better team than the Lions, and I think the market is coming down on that for a reason.
The Lions injury report is disgusting. disgusting.
Yeah, they've had a rough go of that
It
the last
is
few weeks.
heinous. I was doing a bunch of research this morning, and I don't think there's more people on their injury report than off of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the Packers are in rough shape there too. They have some secondary injuries: Quay Walker, Golden, Jacobs. Jenkins still on IR. Kraft. Both these teams have been, Jaden Reed. Both these teams have been very beat up. But the Lions' offense has been. We had that one flash with Dan Campbell against the Commanders, and we were like, "Oh, it's all fixed." But that was mainly about the Commanders' defense that day not wanting to be out there. The Lions' offense for 2 months has been sub-average, or average at best. The offensive line is not the same. It's much worse in the interior. Now there's no Laporta. Gibbs is like saving them on a like that's basically the offense right now. But the Laporta loss is huge. If there's no more Ben Johnson, so the run game, it just doesn't, the creativity isn't there. The pressure is there. And then the defense last week, we just watched Jameis Winston go up and down the field. They should have beat the Lions in Detroit. These are things that didn't used to happen to Detroit when they don't cover against the spread. And by the way, they lost to McCarthy at home. JJ McCarthy beat the Lions in Detroit. Jameis Winston
Crazy does that look right now?
with a
Yeah,
bunch
that's
of
not
backups
looking, not looking good.
should have won in Detroit. So yeah, would love a 3 there. But do think if it doesn't pop again, which I don't think it will, it might, but I don't know, maybe a bunch. The Lions could be a public side on Thursday. I don't really know. But the Packers are a good teaser piece, in my opinion.
First game this season, the Green Bay Packers are listed as an underdog, and Matt LaFleur has performed really well as a coach in those situations. I did put Lions -3 in the app earlier this week. I don't
Oof.
love it.
Oof.
I don't love it. I don't, honestly, other than the fact that it's a home team, a home favorite on Thanksgiving, and the Lions off of a non-cover have been, them off a loss, off of a non-cover. They've been machines. They also have revenge on their minds. That's part of this too. They got blasted by this Packers team the first time they met, but I do not love the bet. Sometimes we place bets that we regret. I'm just going to have to sit with
Bet
it.
regrets.
I have bet
Yes.
regret before even watching it play out. I'm not in love with that one.
I'm all over the Eagles for what it's worth. If anybody cares, I think it's a great spot for them. I think that the Bears are fake as hell. Been getting super lucky. I know I talked a lot of about the Eagles on Sunday, but I think it's a good bounce back spot for them. They're the better team. If you're gonna sit here and talk about luck, I'm gonna go with the better roster. I'm gonna go with the coach who's proven himself, and I think that that's all I need to know for this game. Like, you can talk about luck all you want, but I don't think that the Bears are a good team. I think that they're a lucky team.
I think both are to a degree, but the Eagles at least have the track record of actually being a Super Bowl winner, and we have not seen that from Chicago.
Bounce back
Chicago
spot.
they are the horseshoe in the ass team of the year. And it's like every
And
week
it's not
they go
going
up
in
against
like where you
injuries.
like put one in at a time. Like both ends are going up your ass at the same time.
If we're
Yeah,
talking
the only
teasers,
thing I
I
would
don't
push back on that. I don't hate the Eagles this week because I just hate needing that team to win by margin. I mean,
I know that's the part that I hate too, because I don't
they
know if
go
you
a
listen.
half every week without scoring, like
I
a
literally
whole
said
half.
that verbatim on Sunday's show because I said that we've talked all season long about how it went from a quarter where they do nothing to a quarter and a half where they do nothing to a half where they do nothing on both sides of the ball. I agree that that's the part that scares me, needing a touchdown from them. But I think they have to beat up on the Bears after the embarrassment that they had this weekend.
I think the Eagles could be a good teaser piece. Take them down to 1 and don't
Yeah,
ask
Eagles and
them to
Packers.
cover 7.
Eagles and Packers, decent teaser. Um, yeah, that would be my only concern because I mean this Eagles offense, you would think, you would hope that they should be able to run the ball here, um, because I mean this is a team, they have what, 8 wins? They have one win by margin, one win all year by more than 7 points. And that came against the Giants, who have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. So, yeah. Is Lane Johnson a go? I mean, he matters a
I
ton.
don't think we're gonna know when I don't think we're gonna know
Um,
yet.
so, but the offensive line isn't as good. The play calling isn't as good. I mean, there's the offensive line's been all hurt too. Like, Johnson's been hurt, Steen's been hurt, Dickerson has been playing as well. They missed Becton in the run game. Um, so Barkley's had a much worse year, and
It's the Madden curse.
but
For
It's
real.
at home off that
Evan
loss.
liked that one.
These are two lucky teams, but yeah, that's my only concern is that the Eagles like it's very difficult for them to go up by 14 on anybody. Or if they do, they give it all back because they don't score for a while. We saw that with against the Cowboys. We saw it against the Broncos. But this could be a matchup. And again, the Bears defense has been living off of turnovers. That's one of the reasons they've been the luckiest team, one of the luckiest teams. We'll see if they get some guys back, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, some of their linebackers, Tyreek Stevenson. They have a lot of questionable pieces on that defense, but they've been living off turnovers. Generally speaking, the Eagles turn it over fewer at a lower rate than almost any team in the NFL. So it might be difficult for the Bears to get stops here and or keep up that turnover pace. So I don't mind the Eagles look.
Kendra, we are at least with you on the fact that we do not recommend on this podcast betting on the Chicago Bears this week. So that's
I'll take it.
You get our green check mark here on the
The
favorites.
action check mark.
That's right. Nothing more beautiful on Thanksgiving, other than the plate that's in front of you, than getting a green check mark as you make your way through the day. Kendra, what prop has you in a pickle this week?
I could have gone anywhere with this because it's such a fun week of games, but I figured the man of the hour, the person that we have to talk about, the person that everybody wants to hear about, and the person that people probably are going to be gambling on in different ways this weekend is going to be Shedeur Sanders. I'm in a pickle this week because part of me says it's time to fade him, but the other part of this question, I know that we talked about there's potentially some weather for this game this weekend, but his total on passing yards is 167 and a half. I don't hate that because even if he does have some turnovers, clearly the confidence is there for him to continue to keep throwing the ball. Obviously, the weather is going to be a factor. I'm more so, is this the perfect spot to fade him, or are the Shedeur truthers right? I thought that this would be a good, think piece for the podcast, and it's really not that high of a total. The weather obviously is going to play a factor, but this is who everybody wants to talk about. This is who everybody wants to watch right now. Where are you guys at on the Shedeur truthers versus the haters?
Stucky.
I mean, I wouldn't go over. I think the Browns are just going to try to run the ball here. It's good. The weather's going to be bad. I mean, Sanders last week, his QBR was 8. The Browns' success rate on offense was 25%, the lowest of any team last week. Uh, I mean, Sanders had the safety, he had a 80-yard screen pass, and then he had one good play on when he rolled out and there was a broken coverage. So like if you take away the 80-yard screen pass, he went 10 of 19 for 100 yards with a pick. So, and that was against the Raiders defense, which isn't great indoors. So, and it was positive. It was a positive game script, like they were leading. I had the Raiders in that game, and where I was wrong was the Browns.
We all had the Raiders. That was our
The Browns' defensive line just dominated the Raiders. I feared that could happen, but I didn't think it would be that overwhelming. But I didn't see much from Sanders that changed my tune there yet. I have to see more. Now, the 49ers defense is not good, and uh, they're just so beat up, and but they're gonna play a ton of zone. They're gonna load the box, and but I just think with the weather here is here's the thing. The Browns defense historically under Schwartz has owned the Shanahan tree. The Browns defense also at home is even another level good. And then you throw in all this weather, the wind gusts, the cold. Purdy historically in wet, bad conditions has fared very poorly, including last year. In not The weather's not even going to be as bad. It's going to be worse than it was last year. Purdy lost outright as I think an 8-point favorite in Cleveland. He had an awful day. Doesn't have big hands, and he's struggled throughout his whole career whenever there's any kind of inclement weather or wind. So I think the 49ers are going to go super conservative.
Party looked like yesterday.
Oh my God.
The
You
Browns
could
are going to
not
go
stop
super
giving the ball to the
conservative.
Panthers.
So I don't know. The only way I think if the Browns get way behind, then you're going to have a chance. But this might just be like a low scoring fest, and then it's going to be really hard for
My
either of
thing,
the
yeah,
quarterbacks.
I'm in the boat that maybe they're going to be playing from behind and they're going to let him throw it. Like, you're never going to mess up this kid's confidence. I don't think it matters if he throws 7 interceptions. He's gonna keep trying to throw the ball, and they're going to let him if they're playing from behind, you know? So that's kind of where I was at with it. Haven't put it in, just the pickle. Wanted to throw something popular out there. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just thought it was worth the discussion.
Browns team total is 16 and a half for this football game. So we're seeing, looks like the under taking some money as well. It was 39 and a half when we went live here. It's 38 and a half now. I was on his under passing prop last week, and the thing I fear is the same thing happening again, where he hits two good play. That's such a low number. He doesn't need to do much in order to get the over. I'm with you on fading him because he had a decent performance in terms of getting the win and a couple of nice plays. This is still a rookie 5th-round pick making his first NFL start. I can grade him on a curve, but I think there are probably other ways to fade Shador. I would love I'm sure the interception prop is juiced to the gills.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we go under on
Maybe
completions.
I wonder if there's one out there for over I wonder if you could get one for like over 1.5 plus money, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could see him throwing too.
Going up against your former boss, Robert Saleh.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, Robert, what a king.
It's time for the reason you all came here this week.
That house had the best snacks, by the way. The Saleh house loaded with snacks. Oh my God. Shout out that family because holy cannoli. Snack household.
I'm sure it'll be a great Thanksgiving for the Salehs. 2 Kings and a Queen Parlay. Let's nominate them. Kendra, hand us your multiple nominations for this week.
I have 2. How many am I required to bring? 2.
Well, it is Thanksgiving. You can bring, usually it's 2 apiece. It's Thanksgiving. So if we wanted to feast this out, we could, but go ahead. What do you got?
I'm supposed to have 2. I have 2. Ligma Kravitz. I have the Rams -10 because they're my Kings. I will never fade them. I expect there to be a team every single week that humbles them a little bit, makes them look better. Even in their losses, I still find ways to continue to love this team. They beat the crap out of the Bucs the other night. And I know that Baker Mayfield got hurt. So I'm going to take that for what it's worth, but I think the Rams are rolling. I think that this number is probably right about where I wouldn't go any further than this if it changes at all. The other thing I want to bring up, this is for me and this is for Stuckey, Seattle -10.5. I know that our king is probably going to be starting. And if you don't know who Stuckey and I's king is, it's Max Brosmer, Brosmer Truthers, Max Brosmer podcast. But that being said, I don't really care if it's JJ or it's Max. I honestly probably like this better if it's JJ. So do with that what you will, but I like Seattle. They're going to keep rolling. They're at home. I know that they've been a really good road team this year. The Seattle Seahawks, I know that they lost a couple of weeks ago as well, but they score a lot of points. Yes, they didn't look good against the Tennessee Titans for, 2 quarters, but I think that, like I said on Sunday, that said more about the Titans and the fight that they have. I was right about the over in that game. I just think that the Rams score way too many points for Minnesota to be able to keep up with the lack of offense that they have, and that's why I think that this number is what I like it at.
Well, I am opposed to you on the Rams bet, so I can get down with a little Seahawks love. My vote would be on Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. The Seattle game, it is worth noting that, I mean, yeah, McCarthy just doesn't have it. I actually like Brosmer. He might breathe some life into the offense. We'll see. I mean, it's also,
a rookie's first start.
Rookie first start on the road against a good defense. Although the Seahawks have injuries at linebacker worth noting, but the Vikings have injuries on their offensive line that are worth monitoring. But as far as the Rams are concerned, I mean, they're up to 10.5 now. Part of the reason for that is last night, the Panthers, they were missing both of their starting linebackers. They had one of the new starting linebackers get hurt. They had 2 starting corners go down. It was an absolute disaster from an injury perspective. So, I mean, you had Wallace and Roseboom didn't start. Cherilus went down with an injury. Horn and Thornton both got hurt in the secondary early, and Horn had a great game and didn't come back out in the second half of the concussion, was throwing up. So I doubt he's back. He's their best corner, and it's a defense that can't get pressure. They also lost their third string right guard who was starting. They were down to their fourth string right guard, and their starting center couldn't go. So they were extremely beat up. And now, if you think about it, going up against the Rams offense, and both teams are traveling across the country that the Panthers have a short week with a ton of injuries. So like that advantage normally that you would have is negated. And historically, Sean McVay has traveled really well, especially to the East Coast. But you think about that Panthers defense, which can't get any pressure, incapable of generating any pressure. Now with a potentially decimated linebacker and cornerback room against that Rams offense. I know it's a big number.
Is this just a long way of saying Evan's gonna have to pick?
Yes.
Like I was like, you could just call upon God at this point.
I've been working with Stucky for long enough to know I was just getting prepared to have to make an answer.
I literally, it's been 11 weeks now, and I'm like, I know where this is going.
Saw Evan cracking his knuckles over there. All right, Evan, break the tie.
I mean, there's some fun thing called a little bit of reverse line movement on this one because a lot of tickets, a lot of money on Carolina, but that line's moved from 9.5 to 10 to 10.5, and it's all because of what Stucky just spoke about. So I would go with the Rams, as crazy as that sounds, because I kind of like Minnesota in that game, and I hope Rosmer starts. That line, though, with Carolina is literally something we haven't seen in like 15 or 20 years. You got a team 500 getting 10.5 at home with their real starting quarterback. Insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
My over for the season bet on them would hit. So either way, I'm making money here. Fuck it.
Hey, you might end up making
the money
money
line this weekend. You could just take that and be fine.
Could end up making money in both directions too. 5-0 against the spread after a loss are the Carolina Panthers. Just got dusted in prime time playing a team that has probably reached their peak in value. I want to be on the Panthers. I have not bet it yet for all of the reasons that Stucky said. The injury report. Whenever I see JC Horn pop up, their defense is bad enough as it is. They're not quite bettable if he's not on the field. So I just know that I'm not going to be betting the Rams, but it sounds like we are. So is that the official nominee? The Rams -10. Is that it? Is it in? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Fine. Putting it in. Okay. Rams -10. Stucky, what about you? Nominees.
Let's go with let's circle back to the two luck sides, and I'll make you guys choose. I think the Commanders line's too high. So Commanders, I mean, we can get it. We can buy it to 7 here. So Commanders +7. Or the Giants +7.5. Little concerned about Dart coming back from concussion, but it was only 1 week. The main thing here is the Giants, no matter what. I've loved what I've seen from Kafka. I mean, the creativity. This Giants team is still fighting. They should have like 6 wins if they would stop blowing leads in the fourth quarter. They could easily have 6 wins be in the playoff race. They've blown like 5 or 6 games in the final minute. But I think the big thing worth noting here is the Patriots' offensive line injuries. So you do not want that against the Giants pass rush. And you saw the Bengals get pressure last week after those offensive line injuries happened, and they didn't have Trey Hendrickson. So the Patriots are probably going to be without Will. All right, I'm almost sure they're going to be without Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, their entire left side of their offensive line. The one thing, and we talked about this, Kendra has mentioned this, the Patriots haven't had injuries. Last year, their offensive line was horrific. And this year, it's not great. Drake May is, overcompensated for some of the issues in pass protection, but it's exponentially better than last year. Right? They went out, they drafted Campbell, they drafted Wilson, they brought in Bradbury, brought in Moses. Onwenu was the only one worth a damn last year, and he's in the starting lineup. But once you start getting down to like Verdarian Lowe in there, and some of the guys that they had to play last year, a lot of them are not even on the roster anymore. They weren't even like NFL caliber players. But there's no depth on that offensive line. Now you're going to be without 2 starters on the left side against a really good pass rush. I think catching over a touchdown here is a bit too much. So yeah, I'll make you guys choose between two ugly primetime dogs that are luck sides, Commanders or the G-Men.
I'm still mad at the Commanders, and I'm going to the Patriots game. So why not have something to scream about at this game if we're there and we need this one leg left? I'll go and yell. Why not? I can't. It's not the Patriots are gonna make me and Kravitz broke this year, but whatever. I'm
Ugh,
in.
I yeah, I'm tired of betting against the New England Patriots. I did end up getting the cover with the 7.5 with the Bengals last week, but we really needed that money line to come through, and Joe Flacco just decided to hand the ball to the Patriots
That was
defense.
so gross.
Ugh, awful. I mean, you could see I was screaming at my TV, "Don't throw the don't." Okay, then he threw it. I initially think, well, of course, it'll be a lot of fun to bet on Jameis Winston on Monday Night Football. Feels too easy, even though it's the Giants. I like the Commanders bet. My vote would be on Washington.
Evan.
How
It's
many,
the
by the way,
Giants.
before you answer, Evan, how many games has uh Bo Nix won away from home by more than 3 points this year?
I would say 0.
Yeah. Uh 0. And that includes a game against the Jets team that threw for -10 net passing yards.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a
Um,
Bo Nix Broncos overrated fade. I would go Washington for sure.
all right, Evan, what do you got?
I like the Giants. I would go with the Giants in that game. That's that. I just New England's won 9 in a row. Like I like the line of over 7. I want nothing to do with Washington. Like I feel like they're headed just in the wrong direction. While I agree with the Kafka take. Like I think the creativity's there. I actually do you think it's going to be Dart? I feel like Dart's going to be back. For
It's
this
gonna
game.
be Dart,
It's
yeah.
gonna be
I
dark.
think yeah, which to me I like
Well, I
even
think I
better.
shouldn't say.
I think if Dart, I like the Giants.
We are two halves of a whole idiot today, Evan.
It's fantastic.
I'm getting out deity'd today with
With your mashed potatoes, with this rules. Me and Evan, this is me and Evan's podcast today.
all right. Well, we've got one really disgusting option for me. And by the way, the Giants plus 7.5 officially in there.
I will say with the Commanders, if you want to bet this now, like if you ever see a 7, bet that. I think it's too high already. But we'll see what the injury report is today. But I assume they should be healthier. Like McLaurin, is he going to be back? There's a chance Jaden Daniels plays.
Right.
So
That's fair.
I wish they were still the football team.
there's I think he was originally targeting week 14, which is next week at Minnesota. But this is after a bye. He's been throwing. I could see him playing.
I could also see that.
On Sunday Night Football against the Broncos, but
I
we'll
can't get over how that X-ray was negative. I know that it's like tissue damage, whatever. That was one of the grossest plays I've seen since Gordon Hayward. I hated it. I made everyone I know watch it in slow motion just so they felt the same amount of ick that I did.
I just don't really understand why Washington would even play him at this point. But
I
to say
agree.
it's the Burrow thing. Like they want to play. I get it, but
Yeah, Surtain obviously worth monitoring too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, he's
Broncos-
expected to be back. I think he's pretty.
He's either gonna
yeah.
be this week or next week. I think him, Singleton, Ellis. They have a couple of defensive injuries, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Broncos can be a bit conservative here, with some of their injuries because I mean they're sitting in a pretty good. You don't want to risk like your best defensive player when you are sitting at what 9 and what are the Broncos now? I think they're the 1 seed right now.
They're the
9 and
2.
2. Well, I guess the Patriots are because they're 10 and 2. So
That's so gross to me. How
we'll
the
see how
hell
they
is
handle
it?
the injuries. But
Patriots roster.
We got it in there. Rams minus. No, I got it at 9.5 just to buy the number down because it was 10.5. We got Giants plus 7.5. We're at plus 233 right now. I've got a beautiful play that we already talked.
Hate both of these.
We talked about. I threw the Panthers out. I'm not gonna. Obviously, we can't have both sides of that. So Colts minus 4 for reasons that we've already discussed on this episode, or let me sell you on the little cover monsters that are the Tennessee Titans. All of a sudden, Mike McCoy covered 3 straight with Tennessee. The Jags off of an overtime game. I know this is a Jags podcast, but pushing back on that any chance I can. They probably should have lost that game. Trevor Lawrence certainly did his best to attempt that loss. Instead, they win and cover by half a point. Second straight road game, 4th road game in their last 5. Division home dog of 7 or more. Do we really trust Trevor Lawrence as a road favorite here? Does that sound like a good idea to anybody? Tennessee Titans +7. My other nominee, Kendra. I think I already know where you'll be voting.
I hate both of these. I will
A tradition
say,
unlike any other, Kendra hating both of my bets.
I will say who I thought was going to be healthy last week for the Jags have to be coming back this week. Jordan Lewis got to be healthy. Hunter Long got to be healthy. Trayvon Walker got to be healthy. Anton Harrison got to be healthy. Those are the only things that I would monitor. I get that it's a divisional game. I've been praising the Tennessee. Never thought I would praise the mayonnaise eating Tennessee Titans. They looked good against the Seahawks, even though they lost. I gave them their flowers on Sunday. I was shocked they put up that many points. Trevor Lawrence is a big, dumb, guppy-faced dummy. Dumb. I don't know. I kind of liked the Jags originally. I feel like I lean Houston, but I'll probably take the Colts in this. I feel like it's my better option. I can't go against the Jags, even though I hate that guppy-faced moron. I can't do it.
All right, we got to vote for the Colts. Stucky, you already own the Colts, so maybe this is an easy one.
Yeah, the Jags, but I don't mind the Titans at 7. Let's come down a bit. The thing I'd worry about is they might be without 2 starting offensive linemen. Cushenberry and Moore both got hurt last week. Gets dicey for the Titans quick. Their offensive line isn't already good, but you lose those 2.
And Calvin Ridley's out. Not that he really matters, but like when you're the Titans, you need bodies.
Yeah, Io Manor also dealing with a hamstring. So they could be very short-handed on offense, and then the Jags could be getting healthier on defense, as you mentioned, with Lewis and Walker back. They could get their Harrison back. We'll see on BTJ.
I don't care about
But
him right now.
I will say that played a bunch of very tough defenses. Cam Ward has, and I think he's improving a little bit. Like they've played the Texans
His
twice.
confidence is improving. He was scrambling all over the place in the first quarter last week. I hate that he's improving because I hate them, but I'm going to say it. You're right. He looks better.
Yeah, he looks a little better. But over the past just month, they've played the Colts, the Chargers, the Texans, the Seahawks. So they've played some. Early in the season they played the Rams and the Broncos. They played a very difficult schedule of opposing defenses, but they've covered 3 straight. This should be an easier test against the Jags, especially if they're still shorthanded. But I will say, the way that they've covered it's probably because I haven't bet on them. I haven't bet on them in the past 3 weeks. Against the Chargers, they lost by 7. They covered 9.5. They had 2 non-offensive touchdowns. Against the Texans, they needed a touchdown in the final minute. And then against the Seahawks, they had an 80-yard punt return for a touchdown that ultimately helped. And then they had a touchdown in the final minute of the game as well. So they keep getting the back door. Like they were on the brink of not. Maybe you could argue they probably shouldn't have covered any of those games.
Well, you need a back door to cover against the Seahawks. You can cover straight through the front door against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean the
hate
Jags.
you.
You really trust the Jags on the road? Like the Jags
Yeah.
went barely beat the decimated Cardinals team. They lost. They went to overtime with the Raiders. It's not the same team away from home.
Fake Jags fans. This is not a Jags podcast.
No, I
Fake.
still love the Jags, but they're just
Fake.
not the same team on the road. But I'll say for the sake of this, we can throw in Colts. Either against the spread or money line is fine with me.
All right, I threw in the 4.5 because I bought the Rams down to 9.5. So the official plays: Rams -9.5, Giants +7.5, Colts -4.5, +525. 2 Kings and a Queen parlay presented by DraftKings, the Crown is yours. And that will do it for this week's episode. Reminder, no show on Thursday. We're off for the Thanksgiving holiday. A happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are listening and watching this. Special thanks to our producers, do a phenomenal job each and every week. Gifford Gould, David Payne, our stats man, Evan Abrams. Go check out his Thanksgiving primer. It's a must. The favorites will return Sunday night as we recap week 13. Catch it right here on the Action Network YouTube page. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Favorites podcast presented by DraftKings. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cranberry sauce supremacy.